I would like to tell you that beloved El Morya is the sponsor of the Summit Lighthouse and this community. He is my personal guru, and it is recommended by the Karmic Board and the entire spirit of the Great White Brotherhood that you place yourself under El Morya as a Chela, as a student of the Ascended Masters, that you devour his teachings and his dictations, beginning with the book, The Chela on the Path, that you understand that he has the dispensation of sponsorship, of bearing karma with you, that he comes on the first ray and teaches us our lessons of the first ray, which are faith and trust and obedience. Obedience is the first step on the path. Obedience to the laws we are taught, obedience to the inner voice of God within us, obedience to the path itself, and a personal devotion to the Master to carry out his world service. El Morya is the chief of the Darjeeling Council of the Great White Brotherhood. He oversees the governments of the nations and the economies of the nations. He is one of the busiest masters of the Great White Brotherhood as he seeks to sponsor light bearers in every nation in positions of leadership, key positions where they can make the difference in turning the tide for the light. He has met with great opposition in all the time that he has been rendering this service, and we are here to help him, to assist him, to be his hands and feet in this octave, to decree for his causes. And as we do so, as we take our decree tapes to El Morya on Tuesday evenings and dedicate that day, which is the day of the first ray, to him, he can give back to us assistance and the bearing of more and more increments of our karma. So as we bear the Dharma of the Master, which is his purpose for being, his fulfillment of his dedication to this planet, so he can bear some of our karma. Some people like to feel that they don't want El Morya as a guru because he's too stern, and they don't see obedience as a particular virtue of merit on the path, and so they will pick another Chohan or Saint Germain or Mother Mary almost in an idealized way and entertain a certain fantasy of relationship to another master. But I tell you that El Morya, being the Lord of the First Ray, is the first Chohan we meet. And the way the path works is that you do not go on to the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh rays in the retreats of the Great White Brotherhood until you have mastered the first steps. And so I would simply say to you, in the words of Scripture, acquaint now thyself with him and be at peace. I can tell you that I would not be standing here today holding the offices that I hold were it not for the tremendous love and care that El Morya has given to me and the training that he has given to me for the messengership through our beloved Lanello. Beloved El Morya and beloved Lanello prepared me to this office, and that preparation was to present me at the conclusion of my training to the Lords of Karma and to Saint Germain, so that when I was fully trained, I was given the initiation of taking my first public dictation. That's a very amusing story. I can tell you about that. But at the conclusion of taking that dictation, Saint Germain anointed me as his messenger and the messenger of the Great White Brotherhood. The amusing thing about this story is that we were in our very little house, which had a way of expanding into cosmic space when we lived in Virginia, our first home. And we had in the basement one room, which was our sanctuary, and another part of it, we had our printing press and everything to do with printing, and then two other little rooms for an office for Mark and an office for me. And so on this day, when we were all gathered in the sanctuary, and I was to give my maiden dictation, there was to be a meal served afterwards, and someone had left the potatoes cooking on the stove in the kitchen. And so, as I entered into this dictation, I could smell these potatoes burning. And since one's sensitivity is heightened when one is in the mode of taking a dictation, it became the strongest counterpoint of the entire experience. And my mind was racing in thought as how I was going to dash upstairs and turn the fire off and put the potatoes outside so they would stop smelling. And yet the dictation had begun and I could not do this. So I had to turn off my racing mind and ignore the smell, which of course did grow stronger throughout this dictation. So it was certainly an integral part of the testing of my soul that had gone on for 3 full years, 24 hours a day for that preparation. And it just shows us that no matter where we are and what we are doing, there is always likely to be a counterpoint of energy, and that we have to have that mastery of the point of the stillness of the mind of God to be determined to carry on whatever our mission is, whatever our initiation is. And I'm sure you can all think of situations in your life that you can now label as your pot of burnt potatoes that has distracted you from some point of concentration. And you may even think of some times when you may have lost a certain victory because something was so pulling upon you that you left your point of attunement with God to go out and tend to it, and then found that you may never have gotten back to that point of attunement, even through a number of embodiments. So that's how critical it is. So I would counsel you to receive beloved El Morya, and to know that there isn't a person alive on earth today who does not need the rigors of El Morya's love and discipline, starting with ourselves. I do not consider that I shall ever be through requiring the Chilaship of El Morya that El Morya gives to me, and I am grateful for his sponsorship. By his sponsorship and Lanello's, the preparation I have received and you have received, there came to us then the mantle of Padmasambhava. This mantle upon me is the mantle of Guru, and thereby, through that mantle, we descend from the lineage of Jesus Christ, Lord Maitreya, Gautama Buddha, and Sanat Kumara. So when you come to this community, you come to a place where there's a path that is alive. There's a path of working chelas. There's a path of the messenger who has been given these mantles because it is necessary for someone to wear them in this octave. It is necessary that the tie be physical. When I met Mark Prophet and was given the opportunity to become a messenger, El Morya said to me, "We cannot transfer the mantle of the messenger except through a physical messenger in embodiment. To do so in any other way takes so very much longer because you have to bring the potential messenger to the level practically of being a messenger to receive the accurate transfer of teaching from the ascended master." And so when I met Mark Prophet, he announced to me that he would not be in embodiment for long, and that I was sent to him to be trained to be a messenger, and he was there to give me that training. El Morya appeared to me and told me the same thing. So when I saw this equation and I realized how quickly the transfer could come because of the preparation the Brotherhood had given to me in this and previous lifetimes, and I recognized that for him the sands in the hourglass were fast running out, I saw the entire mission, I saw the entire cosmos and the import of it and the consequences of it. So I would like to tell you that we are grateful to have this physical chain of hierarchy unbroken, and that you are here to receive that same transfer of the office of Chila to yourselves. And I am most grateful to be here, and I intend to be here for a long, long time, God willing. the point that I was trying to make is that you shouldn't think that simply because I'm going to be here a long, long time, if it is the will of God, that you should dally in receiving the transfer from my heart that I can be the instrument of on behalf of El Morya, Lanello, Padmasambhava, and the entire lineage. Now is the time to take advantage of it, because when things change, all things change. And so that is why Jesus said to his disciples when he was in embodiment, work while you have the light. So work at your path and your Chilaship and take it under the lineage that I have descended. If you were going to follow Yogananda and the unascended masters of the Far East, if you wanted to follow Yogananda, you would go through Sri Yukteswar and Babaji and all who are beyond him. That is the method of the Eastern path of Chilaship. And so, although you love and give devotion and study under, and certainly do take the teachings and the testings of other masters, when you set your heart to be the diamond heart, to be the counterpart of El Morya's diamond heart, you will find that you will grow the fastest, you will accelerate to be able to occupy new levels of the etheric plane, and therefore each step you take that is firm and sure, where you have your mastery at that step, you will find that through El Morya, any number of other masters who serve at that level will be there as your friends, companions, and teachers also. So it is the logical, sequential way that we must move. And I am here to inspire you with the great love of El Morya that is more than words can even speak in my heart. I cannot even speak about the love that burns within me when I simply think upon beloved El Morya and what he has done for me and all of us, embodiment after embodiment after embodiment. He surely has brought us here. And in that gratitude of the moment, let us sing number 188.